Hey everybody, One Wisdom here. It is 12:29 a.m. I guess it is now technically Tuesday, March 31st, 2015. About this time, I hoped to be live streaming, if not all, part of the Chaos Doom Challenge. However, the internet is down for, I think, maintenance and improvements, or so they say. That's it. That makes it where you cannot stream, and luckily, I can come in and do some introductions I needed to do anyway. So, the Walkthrough King and I introduced Echo last time. I've still got her on the portal, and gonna go ahead and pull her. My initial plan was to do it, basically shortcut bat spin, Echo high five, and then down into the minis. But I think a good follow-up, if I could locate the character. Okay, here it is. To Echo would actually be high five. Then I'll come in, we'll do bat spin, and then we'll progress to shortcut. So I think that makes good sense to me.
Huzzah!
Kind of cool intro. So 9 life Skylanders collected. I think we had 9 when we introduced Echo. Kind of some cool idle animations there. Now high five. I'm excited to see what he's all about. I think I'll probably wind up liking him, but I kind of hold a grudge against him because he was available via the Frito-Lay promotion, and the Frito-Lay promotions are archaically horrible. I don't know what happened to the good old days where you buy something and it's inside, or even their first couple promotions were okay, and then they just got progressively worse. Now, to their credit, I'm not exactly sure what they did with this one, but I didn't even want to find out. I just completely avoided it. I didn't make a video. I don't even know if I ever mentioned it to let people know it was an option, in part because I find them to be idiotic anymore. So the Sky Stones in the cereal, that's just fantastic. You go and you buy a box of cereal and there's Sky Stones inside. You don't send in a slip of paper. You don't have to call a number at 4 in the morning. You don't find out that everyone that's received anything that they won all came from the first day. You don't have to attempt to track down the Frito products that you don't have. You've got only the non-specially marked packaging. It's stupid, and it wasn't worth my time. I like their chips. Nothing against the company. They're here in Texas too, but I eat their chips. I just prefer not the variety bag, and I don't know. If they could bring back maybe the people who handled the first promotions with his little sidekicks, those weren't horrible. But they progressively gotten crazier, and it was just something that I would rather not spend my time doing. So that said, now that I've got high five, he is not readily available, but he is part of Wave Force. You should be able to find him. I believe he was released in Europe and the UK. He's got a cool walking mechanic, as you can see, very insect-like, which I guess you should expect since he's a dragonfly. He actually feels faster than most characters, so that's good. The jump is pretty hysterical. It's almost like if you, toss something, like a kid into the water or an animal in the air, and they freak out because the ground's not under them or something, and they're just kind of trying to grasp to what they know as the ground that's no longer there. So that's cool. He does seem very, very quick though. So that said, let's do him in my typical fashion. We will come in here.
My numbers are taking off.
I'm not. I don't quite hear this. Like when I had Echo in here, I documented her base stats. I didn't have a spreadsheet open when my nephew and I did her. But I hear a little bit, but I don't hear it all because of the headset. So I heard my numbers are taking off, I think. But anyway, where is life? There it is. He's way down here. So we'll come into the stats tab. 270. That's, I believe, exactly what Echo was. Armor is 6. That's catastrophically low. That's Gilgrunt and Trigger happy territory. Speed is 60, but he feels quicker. Pretty much everything in this game has been like 60 and 8. I think maybe 50s, 60s, a couple 70s and 85s, and yet none of them really. They're not giant slow, and yet they're not like Series 1 stealth L fast. So I don't quite know. The numbers don't seem to differentiate themselves like they used to. Critical hit, that's a nice number at 70. That's usually been reserved for Trap Masters. Elemental power, we just log everything as 25 because that's how we roll. So we will save that. I'll come in here to attack damage. Da-da-dum. Here's his portion. I've already filled it in. I didn't add his attacks, but I know where they'll go. So that said, I will leave you on the screen to crunch these numbers. His slogan, of course, is Buzz Off. And growing up, High Five was one of the most skilled racers of all the Dragonflies. For those of you that doubted he was a Dragonfly, there is your confirmation. I know how anal some Skylanders fans can be. They have to have like written proof and photographs taken with the developers and a Toys for Bob employee and someone already recognized through social media so they can confirm that the sign wasn't faked and photoshopped. And I really worry about how some of you people are going to fare later in life. It tends to be, like kind of the teenage, maybe, I don't know, into college age camp. And there's people that'll come on, like some of the big forums and, sites and Reddit or whatever people are doing. And, they'll say, hey, you can get these new triple packs. And then everyone just jumps on the guy or the girl that posted. They were just trying to help people. And that's one of the reasons that I started the Skylander Club forum, to try and avoid that monstrosity. It's people trying to help you. And instead of appreciating that, people just come out and picture it didn't happen, basically, is what they like to say. And I'd hate to say this. I know some people have good reason. There are people that troll, like, oh yeah, I've got a translucent blue crystal platinum High Five here that was sent to me by a friend's cousin from Toys for Bob or something. And in those cases, it's somewhat understandable. But when someone says, like, hey, that triple pack we all knew existed is out now, that's a little disturbing. You have to realize not everyone videotapes themselves in a store when they're shopping. I really, part of the hobby, I have great concerns for some of these people. That said, back to what's important, I guess. But the bottom line I'm trying to get to is, like, sometimes, people don't have an ulterior motive. They're just legitimately trying to do something beneficial to others when they don't have to. And it's usually those people that get chased away or condemned or harassed online, and that's really idiotic. That's almost as dumb as buying from scalpers. Not quite as bad, but very, very close. So keep that in mind. If somebody throws something up that they found, the new characters or what, and a lot of times on the internet you don't even know where they live. Like I said, High Five and Batspin have been out in the UK for quite some time. So just relax, take it with a grain of salt, and maybe, just maybe, the person is telling the truth. Give some people the benefit of the doubt from time to time. But getting away from the pulpit there, growing up, High Five was one of the most skilled racers of all the Dragonflies, and there's still some people that won't believe that, I'm sure, but as the fifth son of the Royal High Flying Dragonflies, he was not allowed to enter any of the racing tournaments that took place each year because of his age. Well, that's quite the sentence there. Instead, he was forced to watch from the sidelines as his four older brothers competed for the coveted Trophy of Sparks. Again, props if you remember Sparks. He was a magic item in the Dragon's Peak Adventure Pack all the way back in SSA. So the Trophy of Sparks, which legend has said holds magical properties. I would agree with that. One year during the biggest racing event of the season, High Five learned that the Troll Racing team had stolen the valuable trophy and were going to use the race to cover their escape. He quickly took action, jumping into the race and using his amazing flying skills to weave and dodge his way to the front of the pack, where he caught up to the trolls and brought them down. For his actions, High Five was given the Trophy of Sparks. Even more importantly, he was made a Skylander, where he now helps protect Skylands from any evildoers. Now, the most interesting thing out of that story, it's not the tie-in with Sparks, it's not the four older brothers, and that's where the 5 comes from type thing. It's the Troll Racing team. Now that would be something cool to see.
Spreading my wings.
Alright, anyway, let's get down here to powers. Base attacks, I should say. Poison pellets. Press X to shoot poison pellets. Hold X for rapid fire. Gotta love that. Secondary attack, Buzz Dash. Press B for speedy dash attack. I'm generally a fan of characters who have a dash attack as their secondary, so we'll see if he holds that to be true. These next 4 are his base upgrades. We've got Poison Cloud. Poison pellets attack leaves behind a poisonous cloud damaging nearby enemies. Then we've got Fly Slam. That actually looks pretty cool. Echo has a slam attack as well. Press Y to slam down on enemies around you. Then we've got Buzz Charge. Hold B to charge up a stronger Buzz Dash. And then we've got Berserker. Berserker, I guess we should say Overdrive. For the cost of HP, I don't like the sounds of this, hold Y to really power up the Fly Slam. Also move faster with lower HP. So I don't know if that means like if we just sit there and we're getting wrecked by like some Shadow Knights or something, and our health were like critically low, if he's just like a maniac speed-wise, or if that's only applicable to whenever we're charging up the overdrive for the Fly Slam. So we'll have to try and figure that out. Now we get into the path. This top one is called Pollen Prince. I'm trying to hold back a sneeze for you. Cloud control. Have up to 5 poison clouds active at once, moving faster and doing more damage. Then we got Buzz 'em Up. Buzz dash through poison clouds to power them up and extend their life. And lastly, Power Clouds. Extra big poison clouds do extra big damage. And if you're not satisfied with those duplicate adjectives, this is why I do my Skylanders research and we document the attack damage numbers. So be sure to check back for that. Bottom path is called the Speedy Slammer. You got Spin Cycle up first. While holding Y, enemies will be sucked up into the Fly Slam zone. Now that sounds pretty cool. Then we've got Buzz, Buzz, Buzz. Hold B for consecutive Buzz dashes. And then we've got Slam Apples. Hold Y to charge up Fly Slam attack even further and release apples that heal you. That's cool. That offsets the beginning. I'm thinking if you like the Fly Slam, you're probably going to want to go this route, unless you feel like Fly Slam is sufficient and you don't worry about whatever cost of HP means. Then you would go this route, or if you feel like this is inferior type thing. So I don't know. After skimming over this, I'm thinking I might take this top path, Pollen Prince first, and then assume this one would be better. I don't know. I'll probably base it on the attack damage from the base upgrades and go from there. But tentative thoughts before we've seen anything. That's kind of what I'm going through in my head. And that said, his Soul Gem, which, let's see, I think it was in the Secret Sewers, if I remember right. I think that's right. Anyway, I'm pretty sure we've got it. Organic Slam Apples. Fly Slam Apples heal more HP. So, weird thing there. You don't even have access to the apples if you don't take the bottom path, do you? Unless I'm missing something here, and sometimes they don't fully elaborate on these. You got to figure a little bit out yourself. But there's no mention of the apples in the base upgrades. There's certainly no mention of them up top. So that's like a one-trick pony on the Soul Gem, and that's usually a sign you need to take that path. So I'm thinking we're definitely going to do Pollen Prince first. Hopefully I don't love that path. It sounds pretty cool, but if this one does good damage, it would be pretty neat. So you've got tertiary, secondary, tertiary health, and then this accents apparently only Slam Apples, which is available only on Speedy Slammer. So I don't know. That's seeming like they've made our minds up for us on this one. But anyway, we'll go out here and check things out. Again, very quick, hilarious jump animation, neat idle animations. Primary attack, it was called, what, Poison Pellets, I think? So we can tap X. It's actually kind of cool. Okay, not the greatest range on it, but decent, you know, it's not... There we go, I feel better about that. Almost had it. Alright, so you can kind of get a feel for the range there. Half of 23 would be 11 and a half. They probably consider that 11, so I'll assume it's going to be 23 to 34. I'm still not holding it. Okay, there's our critical. So 23 to 34. Dun, dun, dun. And then I think they said you can hold it down, right? Just to rapid fire. It's basically, I'm not holding it down, I'm just rapid tapping, and we're getting rapid fire. Let's see what it looks like when I hold this. Okay, that's way better. You can also move fairly quickly while you're shooting, so he's got speed going for him. A lot of times when you see the lower damage numbers initially, kind of akin to trigger happy, the character turns out to be pretty swift, so that kind of offsets things in my opinion. As John Madden would say back in the day in the video game, speed kills. So, it's also a thrill. But that said, secondary attack, it is going to be the Buzz Dash, I think was the name. So let's take a look at it. Oh yeah, I am a fan of that. And that's also included in the bottom path there. So now let's see what the damage is. 44, that's It's respectable, you know. Half of that would be 22, so we should have 44 to 66. Overall, he's kind of right where you would want someone to be that was going to have monster upgrades in terms of attack damage numbers. So far, I'm very impressed by High Five. I like his background story. I like the aesthetics just because it's so different. You know, they're not like I don't picture like green, orange, and yellow things in my dreams, but it goes together well. It's unique. There's no other Skylander that looks like that. He kind of reminds me of Camo. I don't know why. I guess it's kind of like the little, you know, life element tie-ins there. He looks like a happy, playful character. He's got the translucent wings, which they look really cool. I like that they're a darker blue. Personally, I've always wanted to see like a Hornet Skylander. I know it's probably cliche, but I really like, you know, the Charlotte Hornets Hornet. And now that they're back as the Charlotte Hornets. Back when I was a kid, this is when like the Orlando Magic and the Charlotte Hornets were both new, both very popular, and then apparently they were gang related, which everything that becomes popular in sports, it's always gang related, you know, so it can't be that people like the team or the colors or something. That was the deal. A lot of people just really liked that color in the 90s. But Muggsy Boggs, Larry Johnson, Grandma Ma, later I think went to play with the Knicks. But Alonzo Mourning was there. Pretty cool deal. I think in some of the new NBA type games, I think you can do those vintage teams. I think they're all in there. So that was cool. And then, of course, with the Magic, you know, you had Shaq and Penny Hardaway and Dennis Scott. And I can name off the rosters from mid-90s basketball teams, ladies and gentlemen. They were the glory days, in my opinion. But I think, like, take the Charlotte Hornet logo of old, kind of the turquoise, the purple, everything like that, the teal, whatever the exact color spec turns out to be. And they're doing that again now. Of course, they got the name back from New Orleans, who they went from the Hornets to the Pelicans, whatever that's worth. But they're a decent team. They're kind of, I don't think anyone expected them to do well, and they've done quite well. They're almost into the 8th seed. If they were in the Eastern Conference, they'd be crazy good. But they're in the West. So anyway, I think like a Hornet Skylander. I know we've got why did I forget his name? Swarm. That's right. Yeah, that's got to be right. Why can't I think of that? Probably because I just thought of it. Anyway, the giant Swarm from the air element. I remember his attacks. He's cumbersomely slow but cool. To me, he's like a wasp. And I would like to see like a Hornet, and it needs to have flight, and it should be that like team colors, in my opinion. If they got really, I guess, non-creative, it could even have like a basketball attack, although that would probably not go over well. But I feel like there should be something with like a hive, and I don't know. Of course, the Hornets team name is partial to the Carolinas, but that goes back to a Civil War, which I guess most people don't care about, but anyway, you learn something all the time, more so when you watch my videos. And now you know that I can recite rosters off of mid-90s NBA teams. So there we go. Golden State Warriors, Tim Hardaway, Chris Mullins. Good stuff. I could probably name off several Bulls teams as well, including the early 90s, kind of when I would have been like 5 around that time, you know. So anyway, I'll quit talking about that. We got off on basketball and potential Skylanders I'd like to see, and the Frito-Lay thing, and how people just need to relax and kind of assume not everyone is up to evil ulterior motives when they try to help everyone else out. So got a lot of stuff covered. Tomorrow night, I guess later tonight actually now, I don't know how long it's going to take. I think there's only 3 more stages, 7, or I guess 7, 8, 9, and 10 maybe. And the Chaos Doom Challenge. Going to stream all that. If I can, I'll have these guys upgraded. I don't know if I can, but I will see what I can do tonight. And that said, this is High Five. I'm going to try to go faster on the other ones. I was to a point where I could get these done in about 10 minutes, but this one went excessively long, probably because we spent 10 minutes talking about stuff. But that said, High Five, I'm excited about him. I'm excited to see how he upgrades. It does seem, though, that you need to take Speedy Slammer if you plan to utilize the Soul Gem at all. So we'll see if that turns out to be true. He might. Shortcut's been heavily requested. Maybe I'll do him and High Five or something if I can. But that said, thanks so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to do that. You can follow me on Twitch, where I will be live streaming Skylanders Trap Team tonight. Chaos Doom Challenge, hopefully getting it done. Why? There's the Xbox, I think PlayStation 3 and 4 deal too, where you can get the big bonus points if you beat the Wave 100 before April Fool's Day, so that's what I'm going for, obviously. You can follow me on Twitter when I will tell you, where I will tell you that I'm about to start live streaming. You can subscribe to me here on YouTube, like me on Facebook, circle me on Google+, whichever you prefer. Also, be sure to check out the Skylander Club forum, SkylanderClub.com, and if you're one of those people who has been on the internet and you've tried to leave helpful, like, hey, I found this at GameStop today, guys, or my local Target got such and such in, and you've been harassed or chased away, I welcome you as a safe harbor to the friendly shorelines of the Skylander Club forum, and you can post that stuff. And nobody's going to gripe you out or demand pictures. I've got like a different breed of people, kind of. So, good people that want to be helped and appreciate insight. So, seek your refuge there. And I look forward to having you join us. That's it. Thanks for watching. I will get high five off. We're going to introduce Miss Batspin here, kind of get that going down. So, stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you back here shortly.